do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. Okay. We work hard, then we all play.
If you're new here, we've been painting using this advanced formula from Rustoleum, and the results have come out pretty incredible. We painted the hood and the door, but today we're going to be painting more parts on the Civic. Let's get started. Alright, so I wasn't going to paint today, but since the conditions are like absolutely perfect, it's 71 degrees, we decided to do the roof of the vehicle. So a subscriber and good friend of mine, Jeremy, let us use this pop-up canopy thing so that just in case it did start sprinkling or something, we'd be good. So I'm about to prep the roof with 320 grit and then put the primer on and paint it yellow, just like we did with the door and the hood, which still look really good. So I'm gonna get that done, and if we have enough paint left over, we'll do the trunk tonight as well. So let me get started prepping. Alright, as for the sanding, I used the 320 grit, hand sanded around all the edges and the whole entire roof because it's not very big roof. Went ahead and sanded it all down by hand. Should have been using my foam sanding block, but I didn't, and the results still came out really good. So I recommend you use your foam sanding block or get a sanding block. That way your fingers don't leave impressions. Luckily in this case mine didn't, but it's very possible too. So go ahead and just sand it by hand or sand it with a sander. Either way, just get it sanded and then we'll move on to the next step. I'm going to wipe it down with some wax and tar remover, and we're going to do it the same way we did on the hood and the door. If you haven't watched the videos of me doing it to the hood and the door, there will be links in the description. Alright, we got the primer done. I'm going to let that dry for about 15 minutes and then we will lightly wet sand and move on to the painting yellow. Alright, on the roof I did decide to try something different. I started painting farthest away from me and slowly moving my way back towards me. This allowed the overspray to fall into the already wet paint, which resulted in a much cleaner, smoother look. This method, I've used it a few times, but I decided I was going to try it on camera so you guys can see, and then the wind was blowing it directly into the already wet paint, which worked really well in my favor. So if you're having issues with rough feeling paint, try to do this method where you're basically painting away from the unpainted areas, because this worked really well, as you can see here. I'm going to go ahead and let the music play. Then once I'm finished with this, I'll explain the rest. Alright, this is what it looks like after the thick coats that I put on. Looks really good, like a glossy mirror. We're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna try to get this trunk done, and then that's basically all we can do for now because the store is out of the yellow. So once it gets back in stock, I will go ahead and do this. The door will come back off and we will do the jam. And if you're new here, I'm gonna be Raptor lining the entire interior in Raptor line yellow so it's durable. So we're gonna do the trunk. It looks like it might storm. I don't know yet, but I'll pull it off, take it to the back and do it there. And then we will after everything's painted yellow and everything's finally done, we're gonna put some 2K clear out of the spray gun over all of this, wet sand and buff, and should look really good. If you're new to the channel and you don't know what I'm doing here, I have other videos, link will be in the description for that. This is basically a build process, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this crappy trunk since I have enough to paint it. I know the trunk's all dented up. I'm gonna be just throwing a new trunk on, but I want it to look decent in the meantime. I know decent is a hard word because this trunk is horrible, but I'm just gonna sand this down and paint it yellow. I'm not even gonna prime it most likely. Don't need to waste the primer. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started painting this, and then we will do the quarter panel once I get more paint. So stay tuned. All right, because this is my I don't care panel, basically, because it's dented and trash and I'm gonna replace it anyways, I'm just gonna go over the spots with exposed metal. Well, it doesn't matter if this turns out like crap, only because this panel will be replaced because of all the dents. So I'm just painting it so that it matches the rest of the car. All right, now here's the trunk. I was surprised that what was left in that yellow can did it all, but I was able to go over it 2 times. Obviously the dents are just killer, so. But yeah, it turned out pretty decent for not priming. I only sanded it with 320 and I didn't even take my time just because it's a junk trunk. I'm trying to ball on a budget, guys. But a bug flew in, of course, mosquito, because I don't have the tiki torches out here. The citronella candles that are always burning. Yeah, they're not out here, so of course there's bugs in it. But once this dries, I'll throw it back on the car. And in the next video, we'll be getting the quarter panel and door jambs done and probably finishing up on the car. I still have to get some fenders and bumper, but I can do those at any point in time. But yeah, so I'm gonna let this dry and put it back on the car. All right, guys, got the trunk back on. The paint looks pretty decent. It's those dents that are just killer. But like I said, this trunk's gonna be replaced. So it's not a big deal. In the next video, we'll be doing the quarter panel, door jamb, and might even finish that side depending if the weather will let us. It stormed here last night and it looks like it's gonna do it again. But yeah, so quarter panel and door jamb, that'll be what's next on the list. Roof is done, hood is done, door is done. So we're making some progress slowly. But that's the point of this build. It's a budget build. Can't just do it all at once. Just doing it, you know, penny by penny. So definitely stay tuned. We have more coming. If you want to follow these builds, definitely subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. And the reason I have these, because I've got a lot of questions. That is citronella. That keeps the mosquitoes away. I didn't have one in the backyard, and that's why there's bugs in this paint. No bugs landed in the roof, which is awesome. And that one that was in the door just came right out, so I just wiped it out today. But yeah, if you want to follow those other builds that I've done, links will be in the description for those videos. Stay tuned because we will have more, and once this thing's done, we'll see what the final product looks like. If you want to follow more on this build, hit up my Texas Honda channel. Link will be in the description for that, and go subscribe to that channel as well. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, drop a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.
That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.